Hello, this is Joseph from English with Joseph. Today I would like to spend a moment talking to you about the sound P and the sound B. The sound P isn't so difficult, especially if you're French. You know the way the French people speak p, p, p. Actually, they have the letter P exactly as it should be. P, p, p. That's the way French people speak. It's a pity about the rest of the accents. P, yes, I am French, is not the way to say yes, I am French. But really, I do not care, is not the best pronunciation for a Frenchman to use either. But with the letter P, he is actually correct. It is P. And it's formed like a short puff of breath from the mouth. Peel, piece, peer, pick, pin, pen, pear, park, palm, part, pause, pour, port. So the next time you meet a French person and he says pooh, pooh, I do not know, you can tell him, actually, your letter P is perfect. It's just the rest of your pronunciation which is bad. You can tell him this, okay? Let's move on to the letter B. The letter B is a little bit softer. It is B. It's not P with puff of the air out. It's B. B. And if you listen carefully, you can hear that that sound is formed before I open my mouth. B. B. So let's go back to the letter P again. P. Peace. Peace. Pray. Napkin. And this is once again, think of the letter B. Bless. Black. Block. Blow. Break. Now, as we've discussed before, in English you're aiming to move the bottom part of your mouth more than the top part, and what is forbidden is any kind of horizontal movement of the top. Okay? So P is wrong. P. P is actually correct. The letter B is the same, but it's a bit softer. So let's just compare one more time. You have the P, P, and the B. Now this also affects the end of the word, because if you start a word with such a harsh letter as P, it's also going to impact how the last letter sounds. Let me give you an example. Let's look at the word pack. 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 You hear that K at the end? K. K. Pack. Okay. But imagine that wasn't a P and there was a B there and it was back. Back. So one is to pack a suitcase and one is talking about the back. You can hear there's a slight difference. The second one is a bit softer. So because pack is a hard P, it ends in a hard K. Pack. But back has a bit of a softer K. Okay. So just to reiterate, the French manner is P. P. P is actually correct. Okay. But when it's put into a word, it's a bit more dignified. Okay. So pack. Prose. Pound, point, pull, post, okay, splash, pull, pack, palm, put, pure, person. Okay, so you can really hear the P in that. Yeah. Okay, so the letter B, on the other hand, is much softer. We have beer, big, best. Now again, let's just take the word best. Best, best. That T at the end, t, t. If that word was not best, but that word was pest, then you can hear that the letter T at the end is a bit stronger. Pest has a hard T, okay, but best, T. Same kind of idea, but not quite so solid. So again, we have the idea that the stronger the letter at the start, the stronger the letter at the end in some cases, like best and pest. Okay, so that's the sounds of P and B. Okay, now I'm just going to go through these briefly to give you some idea. Let's look at some words beginning with P. Well, with the letter P, not necessarily beginning with the letter P. We have crisp, grasp, rope, napkin, space, sport, span, spend. And the letter B, we have blood, able, rubble, gamble, bright, brand, bread, bring, breed. I like the letter B. It's lovely and soft. Lovely and soft. Okay, moving on then to the letter T. The letter T is quite a hard letter. Hard. T. T. It's a noise sometimes you can hear some English people making. T. Yeah, tell me about it. T. You can compare it to the letter P in the centre. It's quite a hard word. P being P, T being T. T. It's the same idea. It's a puff of air that's coming. T. But it's formed, the P is formed from P, P, just by blowing out, puckering your lips, P, and it's formed. The T, on the other hand, the tongue has to be up. T, T. In English, if you do that at someone in England, it's considered to be quite sarcastic. T, T. It's like you're laughing at someone. So it's not good that you should come to England and wander around going T at people, because they will be offended. Okay, but to form words, it's fine. Okay, so let's try to form some words with the letter T. Team, tip, tot, top. Now let's compare that to the letter D, which again can be compared to the letter B because it's quite soft. So just to go over that one more time, the letter P can be compared to the letter T because they're both quite hard letters. If you think of the word pest, okay, or test, you can hear they're quite hard, and they also make the T at the end hard. But if you compare that again to the letter B, which would be best, best, you can hear that it's lovely and soft. Okay, so T and P can go together as hard consonants, and B and D can be quite soft. The D and B being soft letters, if you can consider words like drain, drain, and brain, brain. So you have brain and drain, brain and drain. Now you see at the end, the N, brain. It's okay, I'm not going to bite you. brain. But compare that to train, train. That has a letter T, which, as we discussed a moment ago, is quite a hard letter, train. So the N becomes quite hard as well. Let's compare that again to drain, drain, drain. And let's compare that again to brain, brain. So train, brain, and drain. Okay, that gives you some idea. So let's look at some letters again with the letter D. We have it deep, deal, draw, drop, drew, drum, drain, dry, drown, drone, cradle, cradle, hated, started, needed, and ended. Okay, so we've put together B and D as being soft letters, and we've put together T and P as being hard letters. Let's just go over a few more of the T ones. Tea, tea. I think I'll have a cup of tea. Okay, I admit I sound like Dracula when I ask for tea. Could I have a cup of tea, please? But it's not always like that, you know. I'm just emphasizing the point so that you understand. Can I have a cup of tea, please? Of course, if I really was Dracula, perhaps I would be asking for a cup of blood. So that word also can be scary, even though it's soft. Tea, tea. Yes, I would like a tea, please. I was waiting on the street, with a cup of tea in my flask. I'm a student. Yes, he kept me waiting. So you see, as I was saying to you earlier, you want to move the bottom part of your mouth here, not the top part. And as I always say, this is why English people look completely unhappy. Okay, they never smile because they're not moving this part. If they were to speak like this, then you could see they were happy, but they don't, unfortunately for them, okay? So that's why they always look like they're about to shout at you. Shout. They always look unhappy, okay? So, one more time. P, p. I do not know how to speak the English. Well, he's right. He's not pronouncing it properly, but with his letter P, the Frenchman is actually correct with words like person, public, pay, pain, pound. Okay, so p is how you form the letter P, and with the words a little bit softer. Pie, points, pole, post. So in everyday life we don't say post, we say post, post. A little bit softer. Okay. We spoke about the letter T. Tar, tall, tot, top, tool, tune, tour, took, tan, ton, take, time, town, toy, toe, tone. That gives you an idea of the letter T as well. Okay, and as I was saying to you about the letter T, as well as the letter P, where you have hard letters to begin a word, if there's a consonant at the end, it will also harden them up. Okay, if you compare test, tests, to best, best, test, pest, best. You can hear that the T at the end of best is much shorter than test. Okay, important to keep that in mind. That's the T and the P. What else I was saying is that the D and the B are much softer. Okay, the D, deep, drop, drew, drum, Edward. Yes, I heard a story about that. Yes, if I add 2 plus 2, then I'll get 4, probably. Could, send. Oh, he's very kind. 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 Okay. And we also spoke about the letter B. Blue. Blur. Blood. Blood. Blame. Okay. So I don't want a cup of tea. I would prefer a cup of blood. Anyway, I digress. So, that is the story of the letters P, T, and B, and D. So remember, B and D is soft, also soft in the last consonant. T and P are hard, very hard letters, very hard. Okay, so thank you. See you again.